brothers and sisters, and friends. This afternoon we want to talk about the ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet explains itself. We have a fight that's common to all of us. We suffer political oppression, economic exploitation, and social degradation. Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging.
Yo. Good morning. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B. He's buddy to God. How y'all doing this morning?
Hey.
Yes.
Hey.
Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025. Another fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
Man,
the time is just flying by, bro. It's ridiculous. Appreciate you all getting up with us this morning. Do us a favor and share the show. Tell a friend. I see Pops up first. Gives us a good Wednesday morning to all my First Sky fam and mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you very much.
Yeah, it makes sense. Ooh. Wednesday is his favorite day, right?
That's right. That's right. Leia Keister in the house too. What's up, Wednesday? What's going on, Leia Keister? Appreciate you coming on in as well. And everybody else that's joined us. And also, man, a lot of activity going on Friends of First Sky Omaha. Really appreciate that.
Really the conversation going.
Big time. So thanks for joining us this morning. We have special guest Preston Love Jr. coming on today. So anticipating speaking to him, the elder. Man. Coming on in, letting us know what's really happening, what's really going on.
Yeah, much love to the Love family. I still get emails from brother Richie every once in a while with some new tracks that he got coming out, man. Much love to the Love family.
Yeah, Richie Love is always making some new tracks, man. I was found it pretty interesting to understand that he was one of the reasons why Terrace Martin plays the sax. That's one of Terrace's dudes, you know what I mean? Got him going. Man.
Yeah. So definitely looking forward to that conversation, catching up with the brother after his run for what was that? The Senate?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got questions about that. I got questions about his strategy for that. Did he think he was going to win? Was it a move? Did he put him in the room? Like, what did it do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And there's a lot of conversation about the support or lack thereof that he received. So we haven't really been able to talk to him since that run. So yeah, looking forward to getting into that and a few other things today. In the meantime, between time, Paul B, man, how you doing this morning?
Man, hanging in there, man. It's a Wednesday. We're keeping it moving, and everything's everything right now.
Hey.
We're just out here trying to survive.
There you go.
Lucky that we don't have DEI jobs right now because they'd be being dissolved.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that. And I see the baby's out of school there too, man. Is that what's going on? It's cold there in Omaha.
Not today. Today it went from 10 below yesterday to now it's 22 this morning. So the temperature rise. Now I got to get up and look at OPS and see, is there school today? Which is different for me.
Man,
School today. It is a school day today.
Man, just so weird, man. My baby's at home today. We got hit with more snow yesterday here in Atlanta. It's crazy.
Crazy. You guys got snow days in Atlanta, and we're going to school here today. That's crazy.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah. New Orleans, I saw got hit with some snow as well. Like snow. Yeah, it's some weird going on out there, man.
Very strange weather. Marlon Harrison gives us a happy Wednesday, First Sky family. Appreciate you coming on in, brother. Sean McCarthy in the chat. He says, morning. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Thank you. Heather Williams in the chat saying good morning.
Hey.
Got some folks in. Appreciate that very much.
Yeah.
Do us a favor, like I said, share the show on your page. If you're on Facebook, tell a friend. And let's go ahead and jump into a few things that's happening in the community right now, which I find pretty interesting. We always talk about this Fight the Towers situation.
Fight the Towers.
Yeah, man. As a matter of fact, we still are selling shirts for Fight the Towers, and that's a public housing Fight the Towers shirt, and also the OG First Sky T-shirt. Both of those shirts, if you purchase them, part of the proceeds go to the Underwood Tenants Group, which they're going to be pretty active here, man. There it is. Yeah, you get that First Sky on. That's tight. I'm going to drop the link to the Underwood's Tenant Group in the chat. This is something that I have not put in the chat too often. So go ahead and check them out, see what they got going on, because Hassani Lee has a court date coming up, and supporters are already asking for us to get together and go support him on this. So you remember Hassani Lee from some season before. He was over there at Underwood fighting for his father. He's still in the fight, even though they've moved on from that area. But
Yeah, man.
we'll be talking about his fight and on some of that story a little later as well.
Yeah.
As we mentioned earlier, Preston Love Jr. will be on this morning, so we'll anticipate him. So get your questions ready. He will be on a little bit later in the show, and we got a lot to talk about there as well. Also, something that I think is pretty interesting coming up, this meet and greet that's happening, conversations with the artists of Central Library. As you know, the library over there on 72nd and Dodge is coming up. They've already gone through the process of reaching out to some artists, and I happen to be on the committee that was helping make decisions on who was going to be able to be in there. So shout out to Celeste Butler in particular as the First Sky Omaha fam member that's going to be one of the artists in the library, and we'll get to meet and greet and talk to the artists and find out what their visions are on Sunday at 2 p.m. So that's a HAPS that's going on if you want to come and check that out.
Man.
And see what's happening over there. Meet and greet conversations with the artists of Central Library at the downtown branch, 1401 Jones Street. I will be able to talk to the artists and see what their vision is over there Sunday at 2 o'clock. So I would highly suggest that you go check that out when you can, for sure. Also, I want to shout out to Miss Erica Felt, who has been posting in Friends of First Sky Omaha. She's really up on this LB 13 bill, require the Department of Health and Human Services to file state plan amendment relating to child care. The hearing is today, which is the reason why we're bringing this up. 1:30 today. If you can go out to Lincoln and support this would help. It's January 22nd today, 1:30, room 1510. And they said that the deadline to submit some things is also today. And I'll put the link in the chat on that, the legislative page there so that you can send some comments if you want to as well.
Man.
Yep, LB 13, pretty important one. Matter of fact, I'll say she put a whole post up. This is what she submitted in support. She says, paying child care business owners in the same manner as their private pay clients a flat rate in advance of service, regardless of attendance or closures, will allow owners to not only budget correctly for basics like insurance, overhead, cleaning, and food supplies for the children, but also for the correct number of staff so that they can remain within safe ratios to staff to children and keep their doors open. It will prevent children being sent home because they were absent too many days of the month prior, and now the child care subsidy doesn't afford staff for them to attend this month. So, yeah, I will put this in Friends of First Sky Omaha. This is posted. You can read the rest of that as we go. But as you can see, there's some logic behind supporting what's going on here. Please vote yes, LB 13. And go ahead and check out Miss Erica Felt, her statement over there on Friends of First Sky Omaha. And if you know her, reach out and get some more information. But today is the day, so definitely check it out. If you can get down there by 1:30 to support the bill, then please do. So just wanted to put that out there. Miss Erica Felt is First Sky fam, and is really kind of our child care correspondent, if you will. So one of them. So I really appreciate her putting that out there and letting us know what's going on. And this is what's up. There's Gwen Easter. I was the other person I was thinking of. Gwen Easter is another child care correspondent of ours. And so, yeah, that's what's up. I hope you guys get together on that. She gives us a good morning as well. So appreciate you very much. Also, Rick Fulton in the chat. He says, without trying, she has been brighter than 75% of the right-wing knuckleheads in the legislature. Probably talking about who you talking about there, Rick Fulton?
Sis Ashley, a little further down, he says, how's Spivey doing in the Unicam?
Oh, yeah, okay, good question. Without trying, she has to be brighter than 75% of the right-wing knuckleheads in the legislature. Yeah, good transition there, Brother Fulton, because we got an announcement for that, too. We do have the senators that will be coming on Monday. So we've locked it in with Miss Ashley Spivey and also, Senator Ashley Spivey. Put some respect on her name. Senator Terrell McKinney as well, the new dynamic duo. They'll be coming on every other Monday, starting Monday. So come back Monday and get your questions ready and ask her. She'll definitely let you know how she's been doing in the unicameral as well. So shout out to everybody who is getting down with what they got happening. I saw a lot of people post some of the bills that she's doing as well, and they're excited. Yeah, man, we're all excited. So appreciate that very much.
Hitting the ground running. Appreciate everybody that's joined us right now. And that's about it for community updates. What we can talk about a little bit more things a little later on in the broadcast, but wanted to definitely spend some time. 7:09 right now, if you believe in the concept of time. And just want to make sure that we jump into today's headlines because there's definitely some things to talk about. Yeah, man, definitely a lot of things to talk about, especially continuing to keep an eye on this housing situation as it is bubbling up, man. As Paul mentioned earlier, brother Hassani Lee is making his way back to the courts to continue his fight against OHA, even after he was successful in moving his father out of the Underwood Towers property. I also did want to mention on the work that he's doing with the Underwood Tenants Group, just reminding the people out there that you don't have to be an OHA tenant to get involved with the OHA or Underground Tenants Group. Again, this is for both public housing tenants and private tenants, similar to those we're seeing in the City View situation. But again, tenants' rights are tenants' rights. And if you would like to learn more about your rights as a tenant, as somebody who's renting out there, which I don't know about y'all, but that that hat fits me as well. So again, a lot of us out there still paying that rent, and you should know your rights at the same time. So big shout out to brother Hassani Lee and the work that he's doing with the Underwood Tenants Group. Make sure y'all show up, support, and tap in. Also in other news, speaking of the whole housing battle, it looks like Mayor Stother did chime up about the City View situation and pretty much echoing what her stance from the whole OHA situation. Although there's video evidence out there, although they know what's going on, basically acting like her hands are tied in a recent press conference, basically saying, the video, although we've seen the video, that's not enough for us to do anything about it. The people have to formally complain, which, yeah, you let us know your feelings about that coming up. Yeah. Also, Mayor Stockton and Chief Schmaderer has chimed up as well. I see a few people in the chat talking about Donald Trump. Brother Marlon Harrison saying that he's trying to get down with Donald Trump. And again, it's hard to to get away from it because it will be impacting, and conversations are already coming to our front door. Again, as Mayor Stothard and Chief Schmaderer addressing the whole mass immigration deportation situation. Of course, we know that Nebraska has been diversifying over the years. We do know that there are a number of brothers and sisters who are undocumented in the state, working in our meatpacking plants and working in some of our other manufacturing plants, working in some of the farming areas as well, and just working, in every area of our state. But what does that mean for them, especially those who are pursuing citizenship and might have to, call the police or anything? What does that mean for their future? Again, Donald Trump's decisions impacting not just that area, but also DEI. Again, DEI has been a heavy area of conversation in the Omaha area, as we've seen a few DEI heads roll recently. And now the final nail in the coffin, if you will, from Donald Trump coming. So I will definitely be talking about that and more throughout the show. So again, definitely continue. Although we have changed our format, continue to jump into the chat. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. That is what this is ultimately about, is engaging with you all, sharing the information and getting down to the bottom of it together. So again, with that, we are also expecting our guests coming through. So looking forward to that conversation with brother Preston Love Jr. But in the meantime, between time, Paul B.
Yo.
What's the word?
Man, appreciate everybody jumping in the chat. Gwen Easter says she's going to go down today to Lincoln to the fight with that LB-13 bill. So appreciate you, taking some action and going down there and speaking on behalf of that. Also, Sean McCarthy in the chat said, not too sure how eliminating jobs, promoting and advocating for diversity is going to reduce the price of eggs. Ending Biden's actions to reduce the cost of prescription drugs. Yeah, that's another one. Good luck to us on that. Because when the everything opens up there, prescription drugs don't have any more regulations on them because of the moves that Donald Trump is making. How are we going to be able to afford them? So good luck. We got a lot of things to worry about here. This happened day one. He hit the ground running with a whole bunch of stuff he signed. Man. And messed up. Shout out to Brother Pena. I see Brother Valadares. He gave us a good morning this morning. He's in here talking about some things too. Also, Anthony Rogers Wright in the chat. Good morning to you. He's also talking about some things where he says our Nebraska CAFO management and meat packers unionization disaster relief bill being introduced today. So some other bills being introduced today, man. I highly encourage, if you can get down to the legislature, there's always going to be something, and we're going to try to do our best this season to keep track of some things as well, so you can know which ones you care about, which ones you want to go down there and speak on or help fight. And also, of course, when we have Senator Ashley Spivey and Senator Terrell McKinney on the show starting Monday and then coming on every other Monday, they'll also be able to update us on some things as well. So So that we're looking forward to it. This is season 2B, Ballad of the Bullet. We're back in that season where there's a mayoral race happening and also city council. There's a lot going on, and of course the legislative session that we're all experiencing right now as well. So shout out to Black Zam 09 came in and said what's happening. He says, what did he say? He said, buddy, that's a nice hat, bro.
Oh, then thank you.
He's styling.
Yeah. Got coordinate.
That's what's happening. Also, I'm seeing this name, Denixie Guerreca. I know I'm messing the name up, but I'm seeing some people thanking this person. I'm not aware of what's going on there. I'm seeing Anthony Rogers Wright maybe earlier in the chat was explaining some things. Let's see if I can find that again.
I think that's connected to the Meatpackers Unionization and Disaster Relief Bill. That might be the senator introducing that bill from picking up what you're putting down, Brother Anthony Rogers Wright, which is huge. We'll be having Chris Baby Boy Bowling on Friday. And if you remember, he reported on, some of the conditions in those meat packing plants, man, some of the bloody masks and, some of the, lack of bathroom breaks and just crazy hours, like all the things that our meat packing workers have to deal with. So, if you like a nice steak, think about how it got to your table,
That was a cold piece. That made me know Baby Boy's a real writer. He made me so descriptive on that thing. That was a masterpiece. It is 7:16 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, I appreciate everybody coming on through. Thanks for the information there, Brother Anthony Rogers Wright. We'll definitely dig in. This is what this is for. We'll take a quick break and we'll come right back and jump into some stories. And again, stick around. We got Preston Love Jr. coming on a little later on in the show. Get your questions ready for him. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. First Guy Omaha in the morning. All be, buddy the guy.
All be.
Welcome back for Sky Omaha in the morning. I'll be, buddy to God. All of you chat chimers, I want to give a shout out to the ghost listeners. Seems everywhere I run everywhere I go in town, I'm running into people that are saying to me that it's going down on the show, and they really appreciate it very much. So I appreciate that. Anthony Rogers Wright, you're absolutely going to have to put a comment this large in Friends of First Guy Omaha. I appreciate that very much. Please try not to jam up the chat this much, but I appreciate the information. Definitely, you can always send that to us as well, or for us to kind of go over that. And it sounds like this particular senator that you said is the youngest state senator in a Democrat. That's Brother Pena that said that. Gonna have to when I get the name right, we're gonna have to have him on the show, I believe. So. Appreciate that very much. I'm gonna go for it again. Denixie Guerreca. Am I saying it right? Somebody help me out.
Denixie Guerreca.
That's what I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna say that.
Let give us some phonetics. Help us out.
Straight up. Pops is giving us a little background on the family. Says my grandmother worked in the packing houses for years at a time when things were much worse than now. Yeah, these are pretty bad now though, Pops. They got kids and stuff working in there now. It's a hot mess. A lot of people have been trying to run their campaigns on the fact that the conditions were so bad because COVID really brought some things out that it's like nothing's ever changed. The conditions are still as bad as they have ever been, and if not worse in some instances. So yeah, big time for real, man. So that's gonna be something that we, especially in the Midwest, we stand on for a while, all the time, because it's still in the culture, and a lot of our families worked in the packing houses, and and this is still one of the major industries here in Nebraska. So it's always going to be on top of mind, the safety there. And anytime we bring up any story, like the immigration story, for instance, who you think is in the packing houses now? You know what I'm saying?
Right. We'll be
Mass
talking about that.
deportations may slow some things down that you wasn't anticipating.
And to that point, without getting too deep into Brother Anthony Rogers' right diatribe, which thank you for sharing a link to that. He says meat packers are essential to Nebraska's largest industry. And, to your point, I don't think it'll be too far-fetched or hyperbole to say that really the meatpacking industry and the railroad industry built Omaha. Like, for anybody that I speak to, their grandparents either worked in one of those industries. Like, my father's father worked in railroad and my mother's father worked in the meatpacking plants. So in a real way, a lot of families got their start in one of those two industries. So yeah, definitely something, to be in. It's interesting and something to be said that those industries are now still the largest. Union Pacific, one of my first jobs was with Union Pacific.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So definitely still huge industries in the area that we should be mindful for. So definitely thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So with that, let's go ahead and dive into some stories, man.
Yes,
a lot of times we talk about what's going on in the legislature, and reasonably so. But I definitely want to talk about what's going on in the Omaha area. There's some impacts, some changes, some conversations being had. But I do want to give a shout out to Senator Terrell McKinney, who kind of opened up my mind and things. We've been throughout the course of the show, been getting deep into our legislative and civic engagement conversation and really learning how the unicameral and how things are working on the state level. But let's not forget that city council, the city level, is an area where we can definitely get a lot of things done, actually a lot quicker. It takes a whole process for bills to get passed on the state level. But that process can be supported and even expedited if we get some changes on the city level. If we can get some city council ordinances, which, again, can go a lot quicker. It takes just a couple of weeks for an ordinance to be introduced for city council to vote on it and for it to be enacted. So, again, urging people to not only pay attention to the senators and the dynamic duos and what they can do, but also let's keep in mind this year we have a very, very interesting, to use the lack of better words, civic or city council races and mayoral race, some things to look out for. So just putting that top of mind as we talk about some of these things coming out of both city council and the mayor's office today, because they've been very, very active. As you mentioned, Paul, the immigration situation, it seems like Trump's decisions, whether we like to, ignore it or not, will be impacting what's going on in our world. And again, one of the major things is immigration and how this mass deportation will impact our city, our citizens, and just our brothers and sisters who are trying to become citizens. In a recent press conference, Omaha Mayor Gene Stothard and Police Chief Todd Schmatter reiterated the city's policy on immigration enforcement Tuesday, with the stated goal, again, that's being reported by Omaha World Herald, of reassuring the public they can call for help or report witnessing a crime without fear of having their immigration status questioned. Mayor Stothard says, we don't want anyone to be afraid if you're a victim of a crime or a witness of a crime. We want you to feel free to call 911, and the Omaha Police Department will help you and will not check your legal status. In regards to mass deportations, it is, according to this article, part of their push to address concerns in the community about expected federal immigration raids and the possibility of mass deportations, as, of course, has been threatened by Donald Trump, President Trump. Stothard and Schmatter also made a video that the city posted Monday night after Trump was inaugurated. The video does include a Spanish interpretation of the message delivered. Of that message, Stothard says, briefly, our message recognizes that there is uncertainty on federal immigration actions, but enforcing immigration law is the responsibility of federal law enforcement agencies, not the Omaha Police Department. Omaha police officers do not and they will not stop individuals to check their legal status. OPD will not participate in raids. But as far as what this means for the protection of some citizens or some individuals from ICE raids, which we have seen some cities take that stance, more so democratic cities throughout the nation. Chief Todd Schmatter says, we're looking to further police community relations as a means to reduce crime in the community. In addition, as chief, if I was to give the mission that all my officers will become agents of the federal government and have a role in enforcing immigration status in this country, then I have just created a bed of unreported victims, a bed of unreported crime. So kind of their stance on it. Definitely have to read between the lines on this situation. As far as again, if you're picking up what they're saying, Omaha police won't necessarily be deporting people or picking up people, but that's not to say they won't be getting in the way of ICE agents, which we could very well see. We have seen in the Omaha area be very, very active, and again, kind of bringing down the hammer, if you will, on some brothers and sisters.
Matter of fact, there's been some things that's been floating around too with the way that they are people are trying to spread the message to protect themselves if ICE shows up. Know your rights. That we posted this in Friends of First Sky Omaha. Shout out to Eileen, who was our France correspondent at one point, and then moved to Texas, and now she's kind of the southwest correspondent. But yeah, went ahead and started floating this around because this is something that a lot of people are worried about. Of course, who knows what it means? Trump would get on and talk about mass deportations, but like everything else he said, he would never really break down how anything was going to happen, how he was going to do things. But we already kind of know, this is nothing new. We've been living with this kind of situation for a long time. ICE has been icing for a minute, man. So we definitely have to kind of spread this message around. So if you get this, or if you see this on Friends of First Sky Omaha, share it with a friend. If you can, there's some stuff here. Do not open the door. Do not sign anything. Remain calm. Make a family plan. Record all the things that all the good reminders that can happen when you have to deal with them. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see. And I did see. I also want to give a shout out to everybody who's been posting that video that Mayor Stothard put out, because it seems to be on everybody's mind, and it was kind of a big topic in Friends of First Sky Omaha. So shout out to everybody who posted that and definitely talked about it. I definitely see people in the chat talking about T. Ren in the chat. Good morning. Says, reminds me of how so many locally tried to gaslight on how national elections are somehow less important than local ones. Interesting comment. Also, conversations with Cheryl Weston. Appreciate you coming on in. Miss Cheryl Weston says, do you really believe her comment? It is pre-election. If she should win, things will change. So we got to remember that this is election season for the mayor as well, and that's going to play into a lot of things too. Also, Marlon Harrison says, DT says ICE can now go into schools, child care centers, and churches, which used to be illegal. Shake my head.
Man. And, on the tip of whether or not we believe her comments or not, I definitely, it's not lost upon me that this is an election season, which usually changes the tone of elected officials or candidates. But I will say that just looking at the history, we know that Governor Pillen has sent down, assistance for the whole stance on the border to Texas. Like, he sent down the Nebraska resources to assist with stopping the immigration wave. So, are we to believe that Pillen will change his stance? And are we to believe that Mayor Stothard will go against what Pillen has said? That we have not seen that yet.
There you go. Another good piece of information. Anthony Rogers Rice says, don't forget that it takes 5 votes to overcome a mayoral veto at the city council level. So, yeah, it puts your mind into action mode on that. What can you do? Well, there's some things. let's not forget those things. So, this is good. We'll see. We'll see what's happening. I'm also really interested to talk to some of the other people in the mayoral race and see what they have to say on these things as well. But, we always have to get reminded where we live. And we live in a state that is all that's been for Trump. I see so many Team Trump bumpers, stickers on cars around town now. It's crazy.
Yeah, you got to know they'll be coming out the woodwork with they're getting emboldened and inspired. So yeah, just keep your head on the swivel. Be aware of what's going on. And thank you, Brother Rogers Wright, for that tip as far as how City Council can maybe even overcome a mayoral race, because we got to know, man, anybody going up against Stothard at this point is pretty much an uphill battle. She's had the longest lasting mayor in Omaha history, and that's for a reason as far as the support that she receives. But the city council race is something that is very interesting. And I did want to point out something that has been a point of conversation on Friends of First Sky. Not really a news story, but something that actually Brother Anthony Rogers Wright pointed out as far as the Douglas County Election Commission website not naming anybody officially, signed up to run for City Council District 2. Again, That's not really a news story, but it's definitely something we should be looking out for. or at least aware of. I'm not sure exactly what to make of it. It could be something, or it could be much to do about nothing. But that is very interesting because a lot of people have publicly said that they, are running for office. The last guest we had on the last season was Brother Peyton Zyla, who said that he would be running. He since stepped down and has joined forces with Brother Mike Lee, and there's a lot of names. We know that Brother Ben Gray has announced that he intends to run, and Sister Juanita Johnson, and I mean it's a few names. Again, it's looking like it will be a very interesting race. But what is there to make? I would love to hear your thoughts on why, or if any of those individuals will officially again put in their name into the ring. I know there's some conversation about the votes. I believe each city council member or candidate needs about 100 signatures in order to officially become a candidate. Sister Kimra in there, who did run for mayor, she says I had 100 signatures before Christmas when I ran.
How many?
I don't know what. 1,000, because again, to run for mayor, you need 1,000 signatures, and to run for city council, you need 100. So again, she says, I don't know what that speaks to either, but we'd definitely love to hear your thoughts on that. How are we feeling about the city council race, and what is the impact it might have on, again, North Omaha? Do you feel like you'll split the vote? Definitely love to get into that a little more with Brother Love a little later on as well.
There you go. Also in the chat, Marlon, first of all, thanks for joining us, Ms. Kimmer Snipes. She says, good morning, y'all. Marlon Harrison says also Bree Full on the show. She and OPS are currently on a plan to keep OPS students and staff safe. Speaking of what we were talking about with ICE that can now come into the churches and schools and child care centers, which is crazy. So shout out there. And also, it makes me wonder, like, has the mayor said anything? What are people saying about keeping people safe here? Besides what the mayor, got up and said, the press conference that she had about what was going on with ICE. I just think that it's really interesting. Like you said, all tied up with this season, this mayoral race that's happening, the city council races that are going on here, and also during the legislative session and what's been important to people. It's all ties together some kind of way, and I'm kind of wrapping my mind around how it all connects and what it all means too. So interesting. Kimber Snipes also in the chat says, I believe anyone who wants to run has the right. I don't believe everyone running should be though.
Okay.
Yeah, my sentiment is exactly. I kind of definitely feel that way. I appreciate all your comments. It's 7:32 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're going to take a quick break and come back and hopefully jump in with our guest. Our guest is not here yet, so we're anticipating us being able to speak to Preston Love Jr. And we're waiting on that. So in the meantime, between time, we'll take a quick break and we'll come back and introduce our guest who just popped into the waiting room. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Yo. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Yeah, we got a lot of chat chimers in the chat this morning. Appreciate everybody getting up early and coming on in. And a lot of ghost listeners tuning in too as well. I'm getting hit on my cell phone and all kinds of stuff. People talking about the show sounds good and they appreciate us being here. So we appreciate you being here and sharing the show and all that good stuff. Thank you very much. And this is why we do it, so we can have people on like our next guest. The elder, the statesman, the brother who is as far as I'm concerned, we absolutely need to have his wisdom. He's been around here doing some things for a minute and still in the game, way more active than me. He probably could do more push-ups than me and everything. We'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, Brother Preston Love Jr. is in the house. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah. Well, we know when you get older, one push-up equals 10. So I could probably beat you on that ratio.
Well, you see this is what I needed to hear right there. See, I needed the wisdom of the brother to tell me what a real push up means, because I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
That's right. Yeah, I do a real push up, but the thing about it is I have to think about it for about half hour before I start.
See, I find that I do all my thinking after
There
I
you go.
tried it. Then I'm laying there like, what did I do that for? Appreciate you coming on. Good morning to you. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine this morning. It's 7:30, and I'm inside. That's the whole.
Boy, I tell you what, inside in the warmth.
Yeah,
There you
I
go.
never appreciated it before in my life till I moved here.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well,
And
well, well, good morning to you. I see Roscoe Wallace in the house saying good morning, brothers. Vicky Young is here saying good morning. I appreciate everybody who's joined us this morning.
Vicky
And
Young does Vicky
Yeah,
Young get up this early? Or is that somebody perpetrating?
calling you out, Pop Ross, calling you out. Judy Prinzer in the house says hello, Preston. I'm alum of the 2019 Civil Rights Bus Tour.
Oh, yes,
That's
my
so
tour.
nice. Getting some
Yeah,
love.
we're going. This year would be the 8th year
wow.
of the tour. We've had over
Man.
300 uh, youth that have gone through that tour, and we could take up the whole program talking about, what
Mm-hmm.
some of them are doing and have done since the tour. Of course, we'll take credit for everything they're doing great. And
That's
uh,
right.
as a matter of fact, one of the things I hope we have a chance to talk about is the African the Nebraska African American Affairs Commission,
Okay.
Okay.
in which I've stuck my head in, and uh, I am giving heat and taking heat, uh, and that's okay.
Mm.
But if we get to it, I surely want to talk about it because it involves one of the graduates of the tour.
Well, we're here to talk about what you want to talk about. So,
Yeah, let's dive in.
if that's on
Well,
top of mind, let's talk about that then. What
yeah.
you tell us
Well,
about?
let me just give uh, the viewers a little background. In 2020,
Mhm.
after years of the African American community saying, we would like to have an African American Affairs Commission. There was at some point in time one for Hispanics and other commissions, and so it seemed fitting. And I think we felt a little rained on, and we didn't have our own.
Mhm.
Uh, it seemed like a good idea, and
Mm.
uh, and so when we first started, the political climate was such that whether it was a Republican or Democratic governor, it wasn't as divided and divisive and show enough uh, uh, differences. And so the idea uh, surfaced and was debated, if you want to call it that, throughout both Democratic and Republican years. Democratic years go way back. If you know, we've been, if I may throw a little anti-commercial about Nebraska. Nebraska has been run completely controlled by the Republican Party, and I'm not uh, knocking the Republican Party. One is just like the other, if you will,
Mm.
but one party rule does not work for uh, the other side, if you want to, because it doesn't work. And
Mm-hmm.
so, and when we talk about one party rule, let me just remind people, what does that mean? It means that uh, all three of our Congress people are in that party.
Mm.
Both of our United States senators are in that party. The governor is in that party. And so uh, that top heavy uh, running of the state can work against and does work against us now in this environment, against us. But with all that said, I think it was in 2020 the governor was Ricketts, and he uh, just was influenced, and he formed the Nebraska African American uh, Affairs Commission. The
Oh,
commission
Ricketts did
uh,
that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they are appointed. The commissioners are appointed by the governor, uh, theoretically with input from uh, the community, and in particular, if you have an African American commission, you would hope that the governor would listen and get his input about the commission from the African American community. And
Seems
so,
logical.
yeah, it seems. I'm
Seems.
glad you said that. It surely seems logical that that would be. But we were. I think the community was initially pleased. We have a commission, and it will be an advocate for our affairs with the state and with the state senate, and uh, they really not necessarily the police to make sure we didn't get uh, taken advantage of, but more proactive, but
Mm.
also reactive to the affairs of the African American community. It's not a perfect situation on paper, but so with that said, uh, that commission was formed, and over the years, that commission has wasted uh, taxpayers' money, quite frankly,
Whoa.
and wasted the
Mm.
time of the African American community. We're
Mm.
sitting here now in the early part of 2025. That commission has never established the bylaws. That commission has never developed a strategic plan. That commission has turned over four, I think, three or four executive directors. I'm talking about 5 years. Uh,
Wow.
Mhm.
Ted Carter, some of you know Ted, was was there and had a horrible time. We had one point in that evolution where most, if not all, of the commissioners resigned and said, "This is a waste of time," and they walked away from it. So, all of that is background to why I bring it up. So, most recently, uh, a graduate of the tour that we're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
and Vicky uh, mentioned, her name Simone Smith, a North Omaha uh, person, black female. Uh, she went on the tour in high school.
Oh, wow.
She back, I forgot what year, but she went on the tour in high school. She went to UNO. She took my class. Uh, I teach at UNO a class called the African American Experience in Politics, and I teach about the evolution of the African American, really, period, but with the eye mostly on politics. And I start in 1619 and bring us all up through the 1800s and all the good, the bad, and the ugly about our history that includes the slavery, and then it includes, well, I could walk you all the way through that, and we could talk about that. It's a rich history, but it's filled with what you know, slavery and Jim Crowism and racism at its worst, all of that. And then the political perspective of all that. She took that class and then went on the tour, as I mentioned, after that. Then, from when she graduated, she went on and went to Howard Law School and graduated from Harvard Law School. I'm talking about one of our uh, people, one of our community who kind of came up and did good stuff, kind of came up the right way. She came back and interviewed because the job of the executive director is always open in the Nebraska African American Commission because
Mm-hmm.
uh, nobody has had a smooth uh, transition, and the
Wow.
commission has never made a African American who is responsible African American comfortable, and so they either put them out or they leave or whatever. So she talked with me, and I advised her about the history, but she wanted to take it on and try to make it, you know, what it is. Well, not what it is. You try to make it, really work for the community. So she's been there. I'm going to say at most a year, but it's been less than a year.
Mm.
And so her life from the very beginning at the commission was not well. I'm giving one side of the story. I hear uh, some different versions, but I'm giving you my version. So
Okay.
I'm not giving you my version about that. She surely had a rough time. The commission was, some of the commissioners are people we know, and so it's not every commissioner. So don't
Mhm.
get me
Mm-hmm.
wrong. But the commission was not making her welcome, made her job very difficult for her to, be the new sheriff and all of that. And some of the people have been on the commission since the beginning. But with all that said, uh, they are about to fire her.
Mm.
Mm.
They're going to try to fire her today.
Mm.
Wow. Okay,
And
hold on one second because I just want to make sure that we're a little bit over time, and
yeah,
I want to go ahead and move some more time up here so that we can
Mm-hmm.
have you finish this story. But
okay,
this is a good break to have people understand what's going on here. And it sounds like we're gonna have this sister on the show because she's
Yeah, we
born and
need to talk
raised in
to her.
North Omaha, went to Howard Law, came back, and yeah, this is you
yeah,
setting up our next guest. I think
yeah.
is what's happening. Number one, but also so now we're at this cliffhanger. They're about to try to fire her today.
They're about
And
to fire her today.
and you stuck your nose into it, you said.
About 3 weeks ago, I
Okay.
wrote a release and challenged the governor, challenged the commissioners, challenged the whole thing. I told them, is it
Mm.
look, uh, uh, I gave some of the history, and I talked about let's get rid of it. Ain't doing nothing, no way.
Mm,
And they're getting ready. I take exception to the fact that
Mm.
here we go with another example. But in particular, from our community, one of our African American women is being disrespected. Just through the whole, through, and so
right.
and and I didn't check with nobody. I forgot to call y'all and tell you, and so then people, here's what happens in the community, gentlemen, too much is we got a problem with the commission. They begin to focus on me. I'm
Mm,
talking about us
right.
refocusing on me.
Right.
Preston, what is he doing trying to get, why is he and sometimes a leader has to just throw a bomb, BAL, if you know my point. Not not be old, but
Right.
Mm-hmm.
in the midst to try to get something moving, because everybody's moving around and they were creeping up on getting ready to fire it. So it wasn't no time to having some meetings and some conferences and some
Right.
stuff and coffee and tea. It's time to throw down.
Right.
Uh,
Mm.
that's what leadership has to do sometime, and the leader has to take the hits. I've been taking some hits, and I could care less because she's getting ready to get fired, and she's not. She doesn't deserve it. And if the commission was knocking them dead, doing great stuff, then maybe we take a look at it. But come on, 5 years, no
Mm-hmm.
bylaws, no strategic plan,
Wow.
no, what do we do? And by the way, what have you heard about the work of the Nebraska African American Christian? We haven't heard anything because they're not doing anything. So you
Right.
got
I tell
some
you.
people on there, I think, and I can't prove it, but I almost can prove it. But uh, they got some people on the commission who were appointed to stop it from being
Mm.
all right, black and white.
Wow.
And we have some
Mm.
people on there who are so happy they have it on their resume,
Mm,
and some people on there who are just being swayed by the wind. And then some good people on it too. So they don't even have a full commission because folks be getting out of Dodge. It just ain't. It's not work. So,
Mm-hmm.
with all that said, uh, today, uh, uh, they put her on administrative leave, uh, and they're going to try to have enough votes to get rid of her. And I was going to go down there today. I had so many conflicts, I just didn't go. I've done my part to open up the can of worms,
Mm-hmm.
and there's been some things that happened. There have been Tim Clark is now attempting to get the reins of the commission, and he has
Mm,
asked several people, three new people for the commission.
Mm.
Terry Crawford, who I have great respect for, uh,
mm.
and Joanne from the Malcolm X, who I have great respect for. Some of you
Yes,
may
indeed.
not know Pastor uh, Combs from Lincoln, who's head of the New Era Baptist Convention, would be new members. And if they get appointed by 9 o'clock, they can get in there and vote on her behalf, and she will not be fired. There is a
Mm.
question whether they are going to be able to get her appointed because the governor uh, has been in Washington D.C. hanging out with Trump.
So
I said,
this is all happening right now. This is
yeah,
as of 9 o'clock today. You're trying
well,
to get
he hadn't
this
had
many
a
people in.
chance to look at those nominees. So it may happen. And so if you have her as a guest, you don't know whether or not you're going to have the current executive director or the current executive who just got fired. And
Well,
so,
Mm.
if we have her as a guest, we're gonna have her on as a sister that came up in North Omaha and did some and is doing some stuff.
There you
So
go.
yeah, yeah,
whatever
There you go.
position she's in. Cheryl Weston is in the chat. Good morning. She said firing should take place at approximately 1 p.m. today. Also, Senator McKinney wrote a letter to NCAA about this situation.
yeah.
So some movement
Man.
there for sure. Gwen Easter is also in the chat. She says that's not true. We did establish some bylaws. I served and worked on the committee. At this time, I'll make no more comments. Oh well, you can
You
make
know
all
what?
the comments you want, sis. It's okay.
I want to
Mm.
make a comment on is well. Then I don't know what they're doing is if they're changing it or whatever. Because
Yeah.
Easter is on the commission, so she can speak, and I surely
Hmm.
have enough respect for her. So if you do have bylaws, I don't know. One of the things that Simone shared with me is that they were trying to get bylaws. When you have bylaws, you can make them change. So I'll give them
Hmm.
that.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
I,
I surely don't evaluate the commission based on the bylaws, by the way.
yeah.
But I surely respect the fact that Gwen would bring it up. Gwen and I have talked,
Mhm.
and so as I mentioned, don't get it twisted. Just because I threw a bomb in it, I didn't mean to explode all over every commissioner. Gwen has been
mhm.
with the commission since its beginning, so she could probably verify the facts. But and but to the degree that has, if she's watching, oh no, the meeting doesn't start till whatever.
No, no. Yes, they
I
said
think it's
the
9 o'clock.
decision be made at 1 o'clock.
Okay,
But I will say, Sister Gwen, you do watch the show a lot, and I will say, as somebody who talks about these things, just talks about what's going on in the community now 3 days a week, every week. We haven't heard much about the African American, Commission on African American Affairs. In fact, the last thing we did hear from that they did was fire the last guy that they had. So
We always hear the
Ted Carter.
controversy
Yep.
stuff.
Right,
Ted
right,
Carter.
right. We
Yeah.
always hear the controversial thing. So I will say personally, thank you, Brother Preston Love Jr. for, as you say, throwing the bomb in the thing and getting this, because we do need to talk about
Yeah.
what's going on in this commission because we don't know enough. And every time we do hear anything, it's controversy and messiness and, things that kind of make people not want to be involved.
Sure. And then Gwen is just one of the people on it.
Mhm.
So what it does and what it doesn't do is not surely her fault. But
Right,
the
right.
bigger picture is that let's get this thing. First of all, I'm hoping that she doesn't get fired and that we have new commissioners that will help make that happen, and that the commission kind of settles down and uh, gets behind a new executive director and becomes an asset to our our community. It
Mhm.
always has a little bit of a problem when the governor is really will kind of control it in a funny kind of way. It's not a day to day control,
Right.
but so for whatever reason, it is what it is, and today is a big day for that commission. And you made me not think of it because I've been working behind the scenes, talking with so many people in and out of the commission to try to see what we could do to not. I call for it to be dismissed. Just thrown in the wastebasket. Now, I did that uh, kind of tongue in cheek, and it was a risk for me to do that because the governor could have said, and some people accuse me of being in cahoots with the governor to get it thrown out. Okay. But I did, but it was a risk that he would say, "Okay, let's do that," and then I would have been subject to criticism, and maybe rightly so. I knew that he was not going to do it. I knew intellectually that it was going to force what we're doing now, force the conversation, force a dialogue, force people coming with all sides, and when it's all over, the dust settles, and hopefully we'll have a commission that can work, and we go forward.
We're gonna leave it there, man. We really appreciate you updating us on this issue here. We changed the format here on the show, so we kind of got a little tighter situation, and we're getting ready to end the show in about 4 minutes. So we'll leave it here, and we'll have you come back and talk about some other things. We got other questions for you about a few things, and plus, you have some other stuff coming on too that you want to definitely talk about. So we'll have you back on real soon.
Okay, and love you and love the comments that I can read over here. Sometime when I come on, I forget what I'm doing. I go read the comments, forget. I surely respect you, Paul, and my friend. So let's do the best we can. We got 20. I just said I know you got to leave, but 2025 is going to be a big year. We got to.
Yes, sir.
I tell you, part of what we got to do is we got to unify and work together, but we got to fight. But we got to be proactive. We got a lot of good stuff going on. All right.
Well, you just described everything we're trying to do, so we're gonna keep on with you on that. So appreciate you coming on. You take care of yourself. We talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right. Peace. All right. Always a great talk with the elder. Appreciate him coming on. Appreciate all your questions and comments for the guest as well. And yeah, man, this is very interesting stuff. Like you said, it was just hit me when he was telling me the only time we ever hear about this African American commission is when there's a problem. And I see people fighting. We got Chad chimers like Miss Gwen Easter that is always at the forefront when that subject comes up. She comes in and gives us some more information. So we appreciate it. Shout out to Vicky Young that came on. Shout out to Miss Cheryl Weston that came on, giving us some info. All this is happening now. They're trying to get some new people on the board by 9 o'clock so that they can stop the vote to fire her at 1. The sister, I forgot. I didn't write her name down. We have to come back and find out who that is again. But yeah, this is all going on now. If there's anything that if you're involved at all, then and this is news to you, well, here it is. Firing should take place at approximately 1 p.m. today. Also, Senator McKinney wrote a letter. So we got senators involved here. We got our elders, Preston Love, involved here. A lot of folks involved in trying to make this commission happen. And some of us are feeling a little bit like I saw T. Wren in the chat a little earlier saying Republican Shell Commission.
Man,
it is something to be said that is appointed by the governor of the state. So what good is it really doing? What good should it be doing? What good would we like to see it do? How would it help us here in this state? These are all questions we got to kind of approach when it comes to this African American commission. So shout out to Preston Love for coming on, giving us the breaking news on this one today. And that's about it. We didn't get a chance to jump into our mix today. We got about 1 minute left in the show, buddy. Got some words for the people?
Yeah, I mean, I just appreciate, again, Brother Preston Love Jr., coming on and breaking that down for us. Again, it is conversations that we do need to have. That's kind of why we do this, morning shows, because there's plenty of conversations that we need to have that unfortunately aren't being had in other places. And again, the the Nebraska Commission on African American Affairs is supposed to be our advocacy group. It's supposed to be the voice of the voiceless at the state level. Between that and let's call I'll throw in the Black Caucus as well. Like what are these organizations doing, and why aren't we hearing more from them? And that's supposed to be our voice on the state level, and then we wonder why things like the whole DED situation play out the way that they do. So again, definitely some things that we need to be aware of, some things we need to look out for, and as they're saying, hey, the dude, man, getting big. The dude's getting big. So yeah, man, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. Representing each other, the fam coming together, uniting, and making it happen. So big shout out to the elder, brother Preston Love Jr. And shout out to the dude. How's it going?
Peace. He said, how's it going?
Good.
Man, getting big.
Grandpa Sings is in the chat too. Say hi.
Hi, Grandpa Sing.
Right on, man. We're going to get out of here. Appreciate you guys joining us today. Join us on Friday. We're going to have Chris Baby Boy Bolin on from Flatwater Press. And got lots to talk about with him too. So shout out to everybody. Really appreciate everybody that's joining us and coming on in. So thank you. Shout out to the Umaha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before you. And shout out to you, the chat chimers. Man, we're having a good time having some conversations with you again. And we're happy to be back on Friday. And also stay tuned for weekly rap that's coming up as well.
Hey.
Stay tuned, man. Yeah, you see him? he said, Grandpa Sing loves you. All right. Time to go to school, y'all. We'll have a good one. We out here. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the red